wins under their belt and some wind under their sails, right?
Even a game win means so much for Afreeca Freecs org and the young players like Senan, Aiming, Ucal, Dread. Everyone other than Kiin is super. It's not like Kiin is a super veteran by any means either. He's only played 3.5 splits himself, so without that recognized shot caller, it did take a while, Atlas. That was definitely one that went longer than they would have wanted. First ban Kindred here by Griffin. They do not want Dread to jump on a champion that loves to go hunting for boars.
Well, the Azir is going to be banned here as well. So Griffin wanting to run back what they did in game number 1, but without that Azir smashing holes in their game plan.
I think Griffin will 100% first pick Sejuani in the draft again, if it's left open, and we'll see if Afreeca are happy enough to leave that game state. Has been 2 games in a row of Tarzan Sejuani.
Sylas could be the ban here if they want to get it, but Ryze is actually going to be the one taken away.
Oh, now there'll be a Ryze versus Sylas. Sorry, Sylas versus Sejuani question, potentially.
Yeah.
For Griffin. Do they think Dread would take the Sejuani? Is an intriguing thing to consider.
Or do they throw away the ban? Sylas is going to be the ban. Okay, I thought throw it away and then give them the question mark of Sylas or Sejuani. Now Sejuani likely going to be that first pick here from Griffin.
Anything else would be a movement from them. Now, with the Sejuani locked in, I want to offer up something. If you look at Sword solo queue, and I was actually peeking between the different Griffin streams on WTV, he's playing a bit of Teleport Ignite top lane Sejuani. So there's a chance there's going to be a flex on Sejuani. It's something that's happened before. Caps played it in solo queue in mid lane. Wanda played it in LEC in Spring Split. If you were going to go down that road for Griffin, I would like to see Xayah Rakan duo taken on the blue side, because then you extend your solo lane plus jungle flex.
Nautilus is once again going to be picked up here, and I'd be interested to see whether that one works out as well, as Aurelia is snap picked here from Dread. Could be going to Kiin, could be going to Ucal, but I like it in either of their hands. A lot of agency available if you do get that Aurelia. We've seen her do such ridiculous things. I'm remembering some of what Caps was able to perform in the MSI final. Once again, the Camille being considered.
You definitely respect Kiin as a potential Aurelia player, so
oh yeah.
This doesn't necessarily mean the coast is clear for something like the Camille mid lane, but we have to keep adding those qualifiers, because the mid lane part is the important part. Jungle Camille could happen, top lane Camille could happen. Avoiding certain matchups, it's very possible. Lux support would be pick here, and it looks like Lux support once again from Lehends was banned in game number 2.
Yeah, and Sejuani, Camille, Lux were exactly the picks that came in game number 1 when Griffin was on the blue side once again. So Afreeca Freecs could have some idea that this is something that could just happen once again, or like you say, the Sejuani could be moved around.
With the Azir ban, there's less of these guaranteed champions that Ucal plays that heavily punishes a Camille mid. Something like Talia wouldn't have the same laning phase power that the Azir showed in game number 1. Lee Sin, once again, so do we know the jungle matchup? Is it revealed, and is it as obvious as Sejuani versus Lee Sin?
Exactly. I mean, what we're saying right now is that all 3 of these champions might not be going where we're expecting them to be going. Lux is probably the most sure champion. Sivir is going to be banned, though, the champion that people most like to put together with the Lux on the bottom side of the map.
It's the champion I most dislike when it comes to extending games.
Yeah, we might have a sub 50-minute game this time, Papa Smithy. That's exciting.
In the LCK, impossible.
Impossible indeed.
Ralph Wiggum, shout out to you.
Well, Lissandra is going to be taken away, of course, Ucal's favorite champion of the spring season, but he's probably looking towards forgetting what happened in the spring season. Yorick got banned. Why? Why?
I don't know.
Pop, can you help me?
Maybe it's just unexplored. They haven't scrimmed against it, and they're like, I don't want to deal with that.
Maybe. Or maybe it was a choice against the Aurelia. I don't know. I feel like Aurelia does okay into that matchup.
I think actually it's not that bad with the Arc. So,
okay.
I think it's one of those things where that actually might be pretty smart. We do really think it's going to be Aurelia top. Ucal's played it in the mid lane, but I think top lane is the most likely spot. What do you want to do, Afreeca? Because you kind of want full confirmation on the roles for Griffin before you go further from here. So AD carry would be a straightforward choice. Now Vladimir would be a flex choice, something that Aiming has played. This used to be the 2 awesome dudes, remember?
Yeah.
In Viper versus Aiming.
Oh, Pub Smithy, okay.
I'm listening.
Are you ready to riff with me on this one? Give Aiming the Vladimir. He has been a good Vladimir in the past. Give the Aurelia to Ucal and pick Pike Top.
I'm down. Griffin have to choose something safe because they are also wondering what's going on with the roles. Will it be that Sejuani top game or back to a third game in a row of Sejuani jungle? We're going to find out now.
Jace is going to come in, so that is most likely putting Sejuani into that jungle position.
Camille mid, Jace top. Now, Aurelia does outscale Jace pretty hard. So, that does come in the later phases when you're not just being whacked with autos. Yasuo.
All right, this could be an aiming pick, and also something that works extraordinarily well aside a Nautilus.
There's a lot of flexibility here, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true. I mean, aiming could still be on
Kiin
that
could
Vladimir.
Also be on the Yasuo. We would heavily assume Aurelia top in this matchup.
I mean, we're switching over a lot of different things here, Papa Smithy. Because remember, Lee Sin and Yas...
what are we doing? Come on, guys.
Oh, no, don't do it, Lehends. That's some weird stuff. That's
it's happened before. Tucson played a game of support.
It's not
Camille.
happening.
I don't think so either.
And also, we got a last-minute switch here. So Kiin is going to be on the Vladimir into the Jace matchup. That matchup has been getting better and better for the Vladimir over time as the Jace gets some nerfs. And Ucal, we have seen him on this Aurelia in the past, but it feels like a Chovy champion. And Aurelia versus Camille is a really exciting matchup in that mid lane, and Ucal's had the better of these ones so far. Can he do it again now on what can be a difficult matchup for the Aurelia?
And the lane assignments obviously are flexible. We may very well see Aurelia versus Jace as the game goes on. Teleports, be-all and end-all. Griffin go and fall back to something more standard with the Jace, and a lot of the things they chose in their game #1 draft. Over the side of Afreeca Freecs, shenanigans have been enacted. A lot of different things going on here. Kiin wants to gather some storm in the top side and spread it to a team fight. The team fight starts with a kick. It could go to some real knock-up parties. They have a lot of different ways to open up aiming popping off, but there's no guaranteed 3 items for AD carry Yasuo by any means.
And also, Kiin's going to have a rough time as well if Griffin can get things going in the early stages of the game. They haven't been able to do that, though, in their last few games. Let's see whether Game 3 is going to be any different. All right, already, Griffin are well and truly on the Afreeca side of the map. Aiming and Senan made it to the safety of their turret.
Coming here, the sweeping lens doesn't catch the ward put down. Very important thing to point out. Small thing to mention, if Afreeca find themselves in the same spot as last game, good news, their siege sucks more.
Yeah, it does. Let's just not have an AD carry. Sounds way better. However, they do have a lot more engage options.
Your hope would be that they just all press their R buttons and turret dive, right?
Yeah. That's the theory. However, we hoped that last time, and that was also difficult. Vertical jungling going to come through one more time, as the blue buff on the Afreeca side of the map is going to be where Tarzan takes his trip. It's going to be a hookshot start here from Chovy, as Ucal is going to discover that and take a fair bit of damage. This combination on the bottom side just feels awful if you're against it. I mean, I hate Sona Ezreal, but Lux Ezreal sounds even worse. As Aiming's going to get light-bound, Tarzan's going to make his way down as well. Senan's very squishy, Aiming even squishy, has to flash. There we go, but Viper's going to trade his life. It's a 1-for-1, and I don't even really know who wins, as they both have teleport. They'll be both back down there instantly, just with more gold.
And Dread wants to kill some piggies.
Oh, misses the blast cone, which is a problem. Senan moves on up, though, as... this Gromp, is it worth it? You're going to get the stuns down the queue. Is it actually going to land here?
Have to wait out the aftershock.
Is going to. Dread, good sidestep on that light binding. Wants the next queue.
Oh, we're going in
deep.
Can
he actually find it? Does so! As the piggy's going to go down, but now Sword comes in. Ucal doesn't get the queue. The safeguard's great, but it's not enough. As Lehends is very low. Double kill for the Ezreal. Is this game just going to be over before it even starts?
I mean, if this was a scrim, we would consider remaking because a lot of things happened. There was even a Vladimir teleport at the end.
I mean, there's a 300 gold bounty on Viper at 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's because he has 1,100 gold more than the enemy AD carry. And the enemy AD carry is Yasuo.
I was going to say, who is the enemy AD carry?
The minion wave. There was so much peace in the top lane. Did you notice that?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
I really wish Yasuo was playing his whistle.
Yeah.
Or his fiddle, whatever it is. So this lane, the flute, there you go. This lane actually, at some point, Winwall gets Bazinga value against Lux and Ezreal because they're all long-range skill shots. However, you don't have the Winwall at level 1. And so at level 1, they just ran them down, which was very well played. It was a good counter kill, though, and that meant that Ezreal was dead. From there, though, I believe it's hard to tell whether the Aftershock was waited out or not. It definitely was attempted to, and I don't think it was, like you mentioned. But as the chase goes on, the TP is early from the Jace, and he actually ends up getting involved. The TP from the Vladimir left a bit to be desired.
Yeah, and also Ucal's stun could have been on 2 people, but instead it was on 0
let's
people.
fight again.
So yeah, we're fighting one more time. Viper, that's a big bounty. Can they actually grab it?
Nope.
Arcane Shift out of the way. Ezreal, I mean, he doesn't have a flash, but he still has an E, guys.
Well, you guys want an action, baby. 5 kills in 4 minutes, and we're close to more.
Yeah. Sword was actually looking for that solo into Kiin as well. Kiin does have the cloth armor as he goes back, but he's actually behind, of course, as you'd expect from the Vladimir versus the Jace here in these early levels. Cute little transfusion onto some Krugs.
Bad news, Viper's at 6 items already.
Oh god, how did he do it?
He bought a lot of cheaper ones. He also got so much gold. He has a 600 bounty in the old system, by the way. Remember?
Yeah.
You can't really go too high in the bounties.
Chovy getting some value out of that shield as Dread paying some attention into this mid lane.
Somehow Camille versus Aurelia, the camera has never been on this matchup. Even though it should be a huge PogChamp matchup between 2 playmaking solo laners. We've seen this matchup many, many times in the top lane and in the mid lane now. And that changes the dynamic a lot.
It does. As we can see, bottom side of the map, aiming is actually doing well when it comes to the CS, now that everything is settled down. Viper still has way more money, though.
It's another game of Doran Ring Vladimir. I actually talked to some Vladimir players after yesterday, because, you know, we talked about it. Like,
curious, yeah.
Double scaling on health and ability power. You get 2 potions from it rather than the single potion from the Doran shield. So I think there's some matchups where it makes sense. Against Jace is a surprising one, just because you would get so much refresh on the Doran shield passive that it does feel like a weird time to go it.
Yeah.
But the big thing people are telling me is if you're not going Doran shield, because of the Dark Seal sellback nerf, where you get so much less money when you sell the item, and, you know, you're not just popping off with Magi's, etc., the Doran's Ring and the 2 potions actually put it in a really interesting middle spot, and that's why we might actually see more and more of Doran's Ring Vlad.
Which feels really bad. I just hate wasted stats, Pops.
No, I'm right there with you. I definitely feel triggered about it, but I understand it more.
Yeah, no, I get it now. And actually, I saw a tweet after that, to that sort of effect, as Ucal comes in and gets boxed by Chovy's second shot of the E. Dread is on a ward.
He is.
And that's a pretty smart one there, so Chovy's not going to be going overly aggressive here onto Ucal.
Also 10 CS ahead. The lane spot here is terrible for Aurelia. Both these champions in the mid lane want to punish with the wave frozen outside their turret. We talked about it with Aurelia for so many patches. When there's 2 of them, it's always such a fun minigame of, if the minion wave ever gets here, of course the enemy jungler is camping around.
Ucal stacking up that passive, now has inside track as Chovy has chased him down. Tarzan in a little bit of trouble as Dread navigating around the skill shots of the Sejuani. Hextech Ultimatum comes in, Lucent Singularity gets a lot of value there as well. No one dying just yet. Instantly, 2 people go down. Double kill now for Ucal. Can he make it a triple? Viper has to flash. That's a triple kill. Huge shutdown and a gigantic Aurelia for the Afreeca Freecs.
Yeah, Afreeca's out of nowhere. They're fighting the top side at the same time. Our cameramen are losing their mind.
Yep, Crimson Rush there for Kiin. He's going to save his life against the Sword, who's just run out of mana. He needs a Doran's Ring as well, Papa Smithy, as this game is exploding.
And that's a lot of gold to go in the pocket of the Aurelia. Remember, shutdown.
That's a trade of shutdown golds, Papa Smithy.
Oh, boy.
Yep, we've now got another 3-0-0, and this time it's on the other side of the rift.
The new meta has approached us.
Yeah.
It's like you wanted, right, everybody?
Yeah, you've all heard of win trading. What about bounty trading?
I'm just up for action, Atlas.
Well, Kiin is also up for killing Sword as Tarzan comes in. Great timing. Crimson Rush isn't going to be there. The flash after him, but Sword's not going to have any of it. Finds the auto, and Griffin win topside.
Q cooldown not available, probably a sliver of cooldown left.
So close. He had to flash into that brush, but just didn't get the click off in time.
And when you die in that spot, his TP is almost up, but almost, remember, is still a pretty long cooldown. This is probably going to be turret plates topside.
Yep. Does have himself the arm guard now completed, but no cooldown reduction is really important for these Vladimirs. This game is just going back and forth so often. As you can see, Ucal, he's desperate to try and share his gold lead across the map. Still behind by a little bit there in the mid lane, so we have a look at this one more time.
So, importantly, Chovy actually misses hook shot, and that's why Ucal even gets to the fight when he does. As it starts, chases in, you think, okay, but Viper's going to be there, and Yasuo is not. But as the fight goes on, look at how much work Ucal can do. Aftershock proc is nice, but not enough to keep him alive. The Drake is actually on Afreeca's side. It did a lot of damage to some of the members approaching the fight.
Yep. Aiming actually didn't manage to get anything done, but let's have a look at this from their perspective. World class.
That's a great translation. Thank you very much, G-Sun, for that.
Well, it's great to see Ucal with that confidence. We were talking about it before.
Chovy can't be a world-class player. He's never been to Worlds.
Nope. And Ucal has. He lost to Invictus Gaming in the semi-final.
Ucal now has triple Doran's Blade.
That is a lot of
The only reason you ever go triple is because I imagine Chovy bought one more, and then Ucal just wants to get as much flat stats as possible.
Whatever you can do, I can do better, I guess.
Because, you know, he's slowing down future items for more power now.
Yeah. And also, when you're trying to build a Trinity Force, like both of these mid laners are trying to do, you need a few item slots in order to put that one together. Light Binding goes wide on the bottom side. Ocean Drake, not exactly the highest value for this particular composition, as two of their carries don't actually have any mana. However, the extra health regen is going to be helpful, especially Kiin on the top side.
I'm just appreciating how everyone in this game has ultra mobility, or even the dredge line for mobility, and then there's Lux. He's going to be watching and staying away as much as possible, but otherwise, the amount of trading places and creative dives and wombo combos, we still haven't seen a Last Breath combo, Atlas.
Nope, I don't even think aiming has been on the screen when he's level 6 just yet. So,
I don't even know if aiming's been on the screen in something approaching.
Hey, no, he windwalled Drake attacks.
That's true.
He did, we saw that.
That is true.
That was cool. That was really cool.
Dread, no Sword doesn't have his flash, so was thinking about a Rek'Sai tunnel pathing kick onto the Jace. Gonna go the more defensive way out.
Yeah, Control Ward's gonna come down, but knows that jungler and mid lane are on their way up. Tarzan nicking over this wall.
She's on the other foot now. Now Tarzan's the one doing a bit of counter jungle in the same matchup.
Yeah.
Jace has priority. Camille left first. Back in the mid lane now, but Dread has to be a lot more careful, as the early levels have been kinder to Tarzan, in spite of its 2 days.
Well, now we've got the stun actually coming in here onto Chovy. Hookshot comes down, actually uses it to try and escape, dodges the ultimate. Really nicely as Tarzan turns up first, but Dread not far behind. Ucal gets stunned for a lot of time as the ultimate does eventually go wide. Yakety Sax queue it up again, Papa Smithy, as this is a weird and wonderful fight that no one's going to win.
KR 2v2 in the mid lane, Atlas. It means something different now.
It does. Where are we? Okay,
back
we're
in the
looking
mid lane,
for one
baby.
more. Okay, Winter's Wrath comes in. Tarzan could be the target. Doesn't have the Aftershock. And that is going to be a dead piggy. Teleport in from Sword, followed by Kiin. But Kiin's running away. Everyone's dead. This game's a disaster. All right, that's a light binding straight into a wind wall. Lehends just learnt the interaction between those two abilities and doesn't feel great about it.
This game is a fun palate cleanser, Atlas, after game 1 and 2, a lot more drawn out. Game 2 especially is being turned around in this one. Viper walked up to help. Lux decided she was going to hold a minion wave. All she can do is hand over some more gold. Importantly, though, aiming still doesn't get involved on the kill score.
Nope, does have a couple of assists, so it shows that he was there during some of these fights. This game.
A lot of limit testing this game.
That's true. Limit breaks. It's Final Fantasy, League of Legends style.
No, limit break is when I get really annoyed about a
I
team
don't know.
not
I feel
being
like
able
we're
to finish
almost
the game.
there. We're almost there. We've almost charged up the limit break.
There's two ways you can address games like this. You can smile, you can not smile. Here's the full replay of how it started. This is earlier when the stasis was taken out of the Lux. One of the reasons why the future kill worked. Let's see this fun move in the mid lane where very good timing on the Hextech ultimatum stopped this from being an earlier kill because Ucal had a few full stacks on the passive from the start. The miss was pretty comical.
Yeah.
We have to just censor the rest.
very good timing sort of stops at that point.
Yeah, I called the observers. I said let's censor the rest.
Yeah, no. Cut video, cut video. Our good friend Donkey certainly showed us that cut the video is something that you need to really get used to when you're creating highlights.
Viper has cashed in his call, now has Iceborne Gold, so the all-in onto him doesn't work. If they're able to win wall the light binding, then any Q or any knock-up onto Lux, she'll be instantly dead. She can only proc the aftershock if she hits light binding.
All right, Ucal's about everywhere on this map. As once again, that trade is going to happen. Ucal's trying to keep himself alive, flashes out of the way, loses singularity. Not going to pop for very much damage as an ultimate is going to land now from Tarzan. Flash in from Sword, but immediately he's going to be kicked back as Viper gets 2 kills. He's untouched. Kiin doesn't have another pull, but gets at least underneath his turret. Griffin firmly take victory in that last fight, and it might be too much here for the Afreeca Freecs.
Griffin are starting fights on their terms. They're looking for more.
Yeah, Kiin has to flash. Doesn't have the pullback available just yet. 14 minutes just ticked over. A lot of turret plates going wanting as they just fell down. No defense for this outer turret. That's the first one going over to Griffin.
The fans of action not going wanting this game.
Oh, no.
Consistent action. The what are we fighting for question no one is ever going to mention. That's the elephant in the room. We're not talking about elephants. No one said elephant.
Oh, get in there, Dread. Come on, mate. It's the game for it.
He thought about it.
He should have just done it. That was the theme.
In many games, that'd be Lee Syndrome. In this game, it would be 14.
With a game with so much action, we had 1 turret plate for both teams. That's it.
Why would you fight about turrets?
Well, that's true.
You want to kill people. As that was the attempt in the mid lane as the play happened again. This time, some skill shots hit. That one did. But the most important one was the Sejuani ultimate. Yasuo tries to join with a teleport and flows in. But that's such an important Sejuani ultimate. Doesn't go wide, doesn't go begging. And Griffin is able to start the fight, and the combo ultimates never started. The Hema plays after the Yasuo is dead, the Yasuo ult 2 is dead. This one, all Griffin, after some much more even fights earlier.
And also Griffin get everything else as well, as the next Drake is going to be that Infernal, and they're able to get inside track onto it.
Do you reckon that might provoke a fight?
Well, not this time. Surprisingly enough. The smart money would be on yes. As, okay. No Fnatic rush here for the Afreeca Freecs. And wave clear available for aiming.
I think we cashed out the smart money after game 2.
Yeah, I think the smart anything is gone. That, I think that we only provide that until a certain point here at LoL Park. Smart anything, no. Sold out.
Sword goes top side. He's got the I want to just dunk on Vladimir build. Was tweeted about this and had the chance to jump onto pro builds, and there is actually a bit more of a pickup on Manamune Jace once again.
Extra 10 AD.
Used to be the standard item, then Manamune was changed, and the mana costs were reduced, so everyone went back to this flat pen on Jace. And the only time it earned away at us was, if you remember, Khan started liking it at Worlds 2017. He started jumping onto the Manamune once again. Huni was building it as well at Worlds 2017.
Yeah, I remember that.
Since that time, with no mana cost changes, the Manamune left again, but people are just liking the flexibility of it, and the item is just more stat efficient after the latest buff of extra 10 AD. 10 AD is 350 gold, and thus people are saying, hey, why not?
Why are there 5 people in the mid lane? The Afreeca Freecs. Come on, silly billies. 16 minutes, we're close to Shelly making her way out of the rift. As the Afreeca Freecs don't want Griffin to take that one for free as well. Yeah, so towards the top side of the map is going to clear out these minion waves. The sword is getting work done on the bottom side. Kiin will meet him relatively soon. Going to be one of our first games of the Vladimir without the unsealed spellbook. Kiin going towards Phase Rush. Haven't been able to talk about things like Keystones.
Well, they've been so irrelevant, Atlas.
Yeah,
based on
there's been too much weird going on.
Thriller minute action. I'm putting a moratorium on the word why this game.
Yeah, okay.
Just remove it from your vocabulary, you'll enjoy the game way more.
Yep, got it. I'll stop asking you things like that because having to explain madness could put you towards some madness yourself, possibly.
I'm just a play-by-play today, Al.
Oh, is that how we're doing it?
Yeah.
Double play-by-play.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Joe and D-Man back at it again. We've come full circle. Finally.
I've got a British passport. How different am I from Steven, really?
Hey, that's true. I mean, we all still are. It's the Queen is our monarch, so
that's true.
Australia's basically the same thing. Referendum be gone.
Well, the referendum on this 1v1 is over. It's won by Jace.
Well, we'll see whether Kiin can actually get this Crimson Rush over, as the Hemo Plague is still going to be there. Not doing a lot of damage, as level 11 crucially isn't there for Kiin. The flash Q goes wide. That moment epitomizes this game so far.
Senan walks topside with the Rift Herald. No kill onto Sword, who didn't even have flash in order to escape. See what the Rift Herald is used for now. Afreeca going to win the race for the bot side turret, but it's an answering turret. Griffin going to be 2-1 up.
Yep, Tarzan moves on up as well, and that's going to be an inner turret being gifted over, courtesy of Shelly. Afreeca in the mid lane will get this mini wave towards the turret, but aren't going to be able to do too much more. As aiming versus Chovy in the mid lane is a matchup that I wasn't expecting when it comes to melee champions. Shelly doing some great work here as Viper just calmly and quietly is 5-2-1 and has put himself back together another bounty.
Nice trade-up.
Really strong.
Nice trade-up moment from Griffin. Whenever you see a Yasuo comp like this, you know they're always going to be grouped in clumps for the majority of the mid-game. The moment they're like, oh, we could fight, is when the Yasuo comp's going to start clumping, and we saw already earlier today the Gragas Yasuo comp just get rotated on easily.
Yeah.
In game number 2 of our first series, so taking that to heart, Griffin just able to open up the map, use the fact that they already had a turret lead in order to get bonus objectives. Not going to be the easiest to translate the inner turret they have in top side into an inhibitor by any means, but it's more and more vision patrolling they can do in the red side jungle, with the Baron spawning in 25 seconds.
Yep. Okay, so as we crest towards this mid-game, Griffin have themselves an Infernal Drake. They have a 4,000 gold lead. And the Afreeca Freecs have Yasuo and Aurelia and a Dream at this point. Kiin, not quite powered up just yet. His dash cannon is on the way. His Zhonya's is on the way, but he's thrift shopping with all of the items in his build thus far. If there's ever a player that's going to be playing Vladimir and can change a game, I mean, I feel like it's the Shy and Kiin. Like, these are the type of players that can hard carry by themselves, but Kiin hasn't proven himself in that league just yet. He didn't make it to Worlds, so it's hard to make that claim. Flash forward, gets a flash and answer. Did Ucal?
And lane assignments have changed, and we talked about how Aurelia hits a point where she can beat Jason the 1v1. That point is well and truly above us, but the trade of summoners and a turret going down, a tempo lead. The first turret, the first big action is still advantage Griffin, and it's still Afreeca dealing with the consequences of that.
Yeah. Ucal does have himself a BF sword though, so you can see with a Trinity Force and a BF sword, Ucal's able to do a lot of damage to these turrets, and the max range shock blasts aren't going to be enough to even get you any CS. Sword. Griffin will be able to go over and grab their second Cloud Drake. Moving up. Sorry, I believe that the first Cloud Drake? Yes, it is. It was just we had the icon a little bit too early. Teleport going to come in looking for
double
Ucal.
TP.
Trying to turn this one around. Doesn't get himself the stun though. I believe Blade Surge is on cooldown. And he's trapped in the cage, not quite able to get it out. So Ucal couldn't make his way out of that one, and Viper turns up. That's going to be too much. Kiin trying to turn this one around. Viper in trouble, but Kiin's 1 versus 4. He's not strong enough yet and can't get anything off the back end. Senan, just wrong place, wrong time. Everyone's dead. A little bit too late on the rotations for Afreeca, and aiming says, what are rotations? I'm going to try and take down a turret while the enemy team takes Baron.
And the coordination difference of the two teams there was clear for everyone to see. Afreeca weren't able to get there. Griffin's double teleport, guaranteed future kills, and now the Barons go falling low. They're turning on Senan. Will they finish the Baron at the same time?
Yep, they certainly are. Senan's going to go gold, and the teleport is going to come in here as the Baron is extraordinarily low. Stays in smite range for an extraordinarily long time as Ucal teleported in, but he's probably going to die. Ultimate does fly forward, but this is no time to be a hero, my friend. You're going to lose your Guardian Angel for free, and your life for even freer.
turning into a bit of a mud wrestle, but it seems like Griffin are much more in their element than they were in the early parts of this game.
They're the one with the piggy on their team, Papa Smithy.
It makes perfect sense. The double TP here before a single teleport even started channeling, and then you're defensively double TPing after Ucal was already condemned to death. This was a very big difference in terms of synergies. Loved how Chovy played the fight. No escape route, even if a ward jump happened, because the hook shot was already camping onto a ward like he was Smev last year. Take him down, and now the gold lead is starting to get to pretty considerable leads for Griffin.
And that's only going to extend as we've got 2.5 minutes on this Baron buff as well as Chovy. There is a potential trap lying in wait, but it's only going to be a 1 versus 2 scenario, and I don't know whether that's necessarily going to be a victory here without things like Ignite. Because he has that Ravenous Hydra, he has his stopwatch as well as the Trinity Force. Viper gets himself a wind wall very, very early, and we mentioned the fact that Afreeca Freecs are going to have basically no siege, while their counter siege is about as abysmal as that.
Only wind wall is relevant there, Atlas, I agree with you. It's going to be very hard to get anything going. The Baron buff, the death knell of a comp like Afreeca, they only have an all-in option from 8,000 gold behind, and that already is fanciful. Kiin's not strong enough for his Hemoplague to matter. He's 3 levels below Chovy.
Yeah. And Chovy can even get himself a custom-made shield to help him in this matchup.
For reference, he's 2 levels behind his previous opponent.
Yep. Okay, well, they're going to try and defend this inner turret. They failed to defend the inner in the mid lane. Inner had already gone down, top side of the map as well, so it's going to be inhibitor turrets next. Thankfully for Afreeca Freecs, they do have the top lane wave, but Kiin doesn't have his Sandwich Ball, and that means they won't have this inner turret very much longer. Taken by Viper very, very easily.
Much easier for Griffin to finish the game quickly compared to Afreeca in the previous game, and especially Afreeca this game. So Griffin just have a lot of threat that right now Afreeca have no answer to. Do they go for a Yasuo Wombo? It's not even clear if Yasuo has a second completed item.
I don't think you call it a Wombo when it's just them piling on top of Griffin to try and give them faster kills at this point. You're like,
jumped on by 5 kittens, perhaps?
Yeah, ganked by kittens. It sounds horrible.
Well, I've seen Yubi, so I'm not sure.
Final Spark coming in. The ultimate's going to land on Senan. They're looking for that one. The Jace, he's taken out, though, as Dread. And aiming and going to get that one done. Ucal, another ultimate just goes towards the heavens. I believe he's landed 1 so far this game. The inhibitor is going to get wiped out. They traded it for Sword's life, but Sword is a player that's happy to go down for the good of Griffin, and 2 inhibitors is well worth the price.
And no options to fight front to back from Afreeca. They're a burst comp, and all their burst, their Yasuo's attention was on a Jace, and no ability to turn from that, so they lose double inhibitor. 3 objectives around the map, and feels like the next push when they bring in minion waves will be the last for Afreeca Freecs.
Yeah, Viper's finished his Luden's Echo as well. Yep. Saw this build being played with further on. I feel like if anyone's going to go towards more AP builds for 80 carries, it is just Viper. He just likes it. We have a look at this one yet again. Sword taken down very early, but the fight that happens on the other front is one that is all about Griffin.
From there, Kiin just still has no threat. He's still so far behind. Multiple levels behind his lane opponents. So unfortunately, no bark behind the bite. The Infinity Edge is done for aiming, but he needs a dive fighting. I just don't think Kiin represents that yet in this particular game. With the Ezreal point, after the removal of double tier, the Luden's is always prophesized as one of the replacement 45% CDR options. I still think it's really good. You can go Gunblade in order to have that really hybrid build going. Merc Scimitar for now is kind of a lockout item from Viper's perspective in order to just end the game on a very near future push.
Yeah, we often see the Gunblade being completed before something like the Ludens. That is generally the 3rd item that a lot of these more AP-focused Ezreals like to go with. Now, LCK Ezreals are generally Blade of the Ruined King fans, but not Viper. Aiming misses a Q on a stationary minion, which might tell the tale of how Afreeca are playing this game as Dread looks for the flash and misses yet again on the Q. As he's not even in safeguard range of his teammates. Finally gets there as Chovy. Hextech Ultimatum gets him right in on top of aiming. He loses so much of his health bar, and Jace is enough to finish it off. Ucal trying to dive into the backline as Viper is able to get himself out of the way. Senan trying to get towards his Nexus turret. He can't do anything. Kiin is now just straight up dead, even though he goes golden before that eventuality actually happens. The ace is swift, and Griffin put the last nail in the coffin of the Afreeca Freecs. It's a 2-1 victory, but it's a real weird and wonderful experience towards the final Nexus takedown.
A limit testing between Afreeca and Griffin, but it seems like those limits just are a little bit higher on the side of Griffin.